Well, guys, it's been a year in the New Aire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but we've had a lot of questions over the last year on how it's working out for us. So now that we have officially been living in the New Aire for 1 year, we feel like this is the time to give you our overall perspective on how it's working out. So this is our 1 year review of the Newmar New Aire. Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Stacy.
I'm Tom, and we're RV Texas, y'all.
We are Native Texans and full-time RVers who are all about exploring the great state of Texas and beyond, one campground at a time. We're on a mission to experience life, not just live it, and we're bringing you along for the fun.
2018, we sold our house, our business, and got rid of most everything we owned to hit the road and see America. Our home is a 33-foot RV named Freedom. We installed an extreme solar and lithium setup, so now we can just about live anywhere with our dog Star and our cat Astro.
Every day is a new adventure, so join us as we RV America, y'all. So yeah, wow, hard to believe it's already been a year with our 2021 Newmar New Aire 3343. And we are actually, this is June of 2022, we are at the Newmar Service Center in Napanee, Indiana. And we are here for our 1 year warranty work on the New Aire. So we thought this is perfect timing to sit down and give you our thoughts after a full year.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a separate video letting you know our experience here at the Newmar facility. So you're gonna wanna check that one out. That's gonna be coming up.
And a lot of folks have asked us, since we owned a Tiffin Breeze for 3 years and we lived in it for 2.5 full time, and we did 2 years of service at the Tiffin Customer Service Center in Red Bay, Alabama, a lot of folks have asked us for our thoughts on the comparisons between Tiffin and Newmar, Breeze and New Aire. So that'll be coming up in a future video as well.
Yeah.
But today we're going to completely focus on our Newmar New Aire. What we like about it, what we'd like to change, what we have changed, and overall how it's working out. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Star's here.
Yeah.
Astro's here.
Got the whole family here.
I'm telling you.
We all travel together.
Absolutely. So yes, we have a 2021 Newmar New Aire 3343, and so this is the smaller of the New Aire models that have been produced lately.
And if you saw one of our older videos, this actually was the last 33 that Newmar made.
Right, for 2022, they discontinued the 33-foot model and they focus on the 35-foot model. But there are a lot of similarities between the 33s and the 35s.
Oh yeah, I mean the biggest difference, just real quick since she brought that up, the biggest difference is 2 feet, and it's 450 engine versus a 360 that we have. We have the 360, the other one goes to a 450. Those are the two main, and a king bed in the 35. So
right.
We'll just throw those out there. That's the main differences between the two.
Absolutely. So let's first talk about our likes, because there is a lot that we like about our New Aire.
Yeah.
The list is long, but let's just kind of jump in. Maybe we start with some of the outside features or some of the overall features. And I do have notes here because we don't want to forget any of the major topics that we wanted to share with you. But overall, build quality and finish, I'm real happy with.
Oh, there's no doubt. They're built solid. I mean, if you do your own investigating and look, that it's well documented. It's a 4-season coach. You can feel it. I mean, we're cooler during the summer and we're warmer during the winter. Really like that. The sound, I mean, we don't hear the outside noise very much when we're inside the coach. We love that.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like the insulation in this unit is very good compared to other things that we've owned in the past.
Yep.
And so I'm real happy with that. I also like the weight and the carrying capacity. This rig, even though it's just under 34 feet long, it's actually 33 feet 10 inches, but it's got a gross weight of over 38,000 pounds. But even fully loaded, we actually have a really big carrying capacity in this unit. So even fully loaded and with the solar that we've added and things, we are still almost 2,000 pounds under our maximum weight.
And that is another minor difference between the 33s and the 35. Actually, the 33s have more carrying capacity than the 35s because of the big, heavier engine that the 35s have. So that is something that's nice. We're not even close. We're packed in this thing. Everything we own is in here. And we're still, like she said, about 2,000 pounds under. So we're in real good shape on our carrying capacity.
Absolutely. Now, just because we have that much weight capacity remaining doesn't mean we have a lot of storage space remaining.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're packed.
But I really like the fact that safety-wise, we're in real good shape with our weights. And that is something that's different for us compared to other units that we've owned in the past. The New Aire has a side radiator.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, a lot of the diesel pushers had the radiators in the back. The advantage of the side is easier to work on the coach, easier to get to your oil if you have to add oil or coolant or stuff like that. It's real easy to get to. It's easier for them to work on the engine. The others, if they don't have the side radiator, they have to usually go through your bedroom. There's a compartment to the bedroom to get to the engine. Ours isn't that way, so they can go right to the back. So it's easier on maintenance, and I think the engine runs a little cooler with the side radiator. So it's, yeah.
We really like that.
Oh yeah, that's been a plus.
And it's on a Freightliner chassis. You have an option with some of the models of Freightliner or Spartan. We really like, you didn't have the option, I don't think, with the 33s. I think they all came with Freightliner, but
right.
we wanted Freightliner anyway. We've had Freightliner chassis prior to owning the Tiffin. The Tiffin was on the Power Glide, but we really like Freightliner chassis. The service centers are easy to get to.
Well, the biggest plus there, not just are they easy to get to, Freightliner, heads and above everything else out there, has far more service centers. I mean, they're all over the nation. They're also in Canada. So you have a lot more options when it comes to servicing the chassis.
And when we've had questions, we've been able to call the folks at Freightliner, and they've answered the phone and been really friendly and easy to talk to and full of information. So
yeah, so we're
feel
very
good.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. And also with our outside is we have our doors. It's almost like French doors for the basement on the side. So they're. What would you call those?
Well, the opposing doors in our main basement storage bay, which is behind Tom. Well, it's kind of, I don't know if the camera can pick it up from the angle we're at, but it's really nice because they open opposite of each other.
So you have a big area there, and we have trays in there, which I love, and we got the manual trays. We could have got automatic. With the automatic, though, they come out real slow. I love the manual because it's another thing that probably won't break. And you can pull it out and in as quickly as you want. They're easy. They glide easily, so you can really get to your stuff. And that it gives you a much bigger compartment in there. And I absolutely love that, for sure. No doubt.
Another thing that we optioned in on our New Aire that we really like is our Girard double awning and window awning package.
Yes.
So we've got our window awnings out today. They do a fantastic job of kind of keeping some of that sun out during the heat of the day, giving you some shade on the interior.
Yeah, and they're stronger than the big awnings, because they are they're not as big, so there's not as much for the wind to grab, and also they have hard sides on them. So, yeah, they're nice to have, keep it cooler on the inside. So, yeah, we love the Girard awning package. And I think another thing we wanted to mention about the outside that I wanted, it was on my must-have list when we got this, is the outside refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. He had to have an outside fridge.
And it is so nice to be out here. You know, I use the TV a lot at night if we're watching football games or whatever, and it's nice not to have to go into the coach. You can get your cold beverage right here. It's quick and easy, and yeah, it's been real. And it can be a backup for the refrigerator on the inside. It can also be a freezer. We haven't used it as a freezer, but if we get somewhere and we want to buy a lot of meats or chicken or something, we can just convert it to a freezer and have that additional space. So that's really nice.
That is nice. Also, we've got a backup camera on this one, and our backup camera actually has a visual grid that Tom loves. When we're backing into a space, our routine now is I will actually get behind him. I'll stand behind the coach, basically where the camera is right on me, and I can help direct him. But in a lot of cases, he tells me he doesn't even need that.
No, because the grid system shows me exactly where to go. It is the easiest RV, bar none, that I've ever owned. Any kind of RV, even our travel trailer, everything, to back up and put into a site with the way it is.
And just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar with our history of RVing, we've owned, I think this is our 5th RV. We started with a travel trailer. We had a gas Class A motorhome. That was our first motorhome. It was 28 feet. Then we had a 36-foot, give or take, diesel Class A motorhome. That was our first diesel. Then we had the Breeze, the Tiffin Breeze, and now we have the New Aire. So
yeah, and this one has been the easiest one of all of them to back into a space.
Another thing that we have on this one that we've never had before in an RV is adaptive cruise control. And we really like that for driving.
Yeah, I thought at first I wouldn't like that, but I literally can put it on. I like to go at 65. That's on the highway. So I'll normally get to 65, set that cruise control, and if I'm behind a truck or whatever I'm behind, if they slow down, the coach automatically slows down, and then when they speed up, it'll speed right back up. So I can focus on my eyes on the road. It works so good, sometimes I don't even realize that the truck in front of me is only going 55, and I look down at the speed and I'm only going 55. So I really like that. It's such a, and if somebody comes in front of you and really slows down, the coach will slow down fast. I mean, it's a safety feature, and I really like it.
Absolutely. Coming back to the outside a little bit before we move to the inside, something that's new to us with this coach that we've never had before is the SantaCon system, which is a whole different way of dumping your tanks.
Yeah, and if you're ever at one of those campsites where it kind of goes uphill to dump, now you use the SantaCon and it shoots it up there, so you can still easily dump with it. And also, if you're only somewhere for a day or two and you don't want to get out the stinky slinky,
which we still have. We still have the option of doing old school.
When we're somewhere for a while, we normally will take that out. But on quick runs, we use the SantaCon because it's cleaner too. I mean, you just have one little cap you take off, you stick it on the sewer thing and push a button and it shoots it through. You do the black first, just like you always would, and then you do the gray. You can still black tank or gray tank flush if you want to. It doesn't affect that. But you can dump your tanks a lot faster and a lot easier. So I love that. We use it a lot, but we also use our other system too. If we're going to stay at a place for a week or something, we'll normally hook up the other unless it's going uphill. You know, if it's going uphill, we'll use the SantaCon. We can still dump.
And you know what, you mentioned something that we didn't put on the list, but absolutely is like list worthy for us, which we've never had before until we got the New Aire, and that is a gray tank flush. We've had several RVs that have had black tank flush, which is fantastic for cleaning out your black tank, but this one actually has a gray tank flush as well. And in our experience, sometimes when you start getting odors from your tanks, it's almost always the gray tank before it's the black tank. So I love having a gray tank flush. It makes it so much easier to clean out your gray tank.
It really does, and I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
We're just so used to it now.
And while we're there on that, I mean, it helps. In the wet bay, I have monitors there that tell me the tank levels.
And it's exact tank levels.
It's exact. I mean, 23% or 38%, not a third or 2/3. And boy, does that help, because before, if I was doing a black tank flush and I didn't want it to overflow, obviously, I'd have to keep running in the coach to see what the levels were so I could pull the black tank. And this one, I can watch it the whole time. Even if I'm outside doing something, I want to come back and say, oh, do I need to dump the tanks? I just look. I don't have to go in the coach, and I can just dump the tanks if I need to. So that is a huge upgrade.
I think so. Let's talk a bit about the inside. Speaking of plumbing kind of stuff, I guess, one of the features that I really like, and I did not think I would, to be honest with you, is the big sink. This is the first RV that we've owned that has a large single bowl sink. I've always shied away from those because I like the two-sided sinks, but I gotta tell you, I really like this sink. It's a lot easier when you're doing pots and pans and bigger items to deal with. We've got a drying rack that we bought that we can lay over the top, so if we want to do dishes manually, we can.
Yeah.
But another option that we went back and forth on, do we really need a dishwasher? Would we rather have the storage space? We decided in the end to opt in the dishwasher, and I'm really glad that we did.
Big plus. We use it all the time.
Man, it's very efficient.
Yes.
It's got an eco mode for when we're not hooked up to a sewer connection. When we're hooked up to sewer, we can put it on its regular mode. It does a fantastic job of cleaning the dishes, and it's still very efficient. But that eco mode hardly uses any water at all, but it does a really good job of cleaning the dishes, and it's just so much easier.
Yeah, well, a quick comparison, I think. It can wash dishes in 2.5 gallons of water. I mean, try to hand wash a simple plate in 2.5 gallons of water. I mean, I know I use too much. You know, so it saves water even. So even when we're in a boondocking situation, we'll still use it because it uses less water than we can physically do it ourselves, and it will work off the water pump too. So if you are boondocking and you have fresh water in there, you can still use it.
And we have.
Yeah.
And that has been a feature that I wasn't sure.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about the floors, because the floors are a big thing for us.
Oh,
really.
Yeah.
Our New Aire has no carpet. It has flat floors, so when the slides come out, everything is totally flush. We have no gaps where air can get through, bugs can get through, little kitty toys can get kicked under, you know, whatever. And the floors are actually ceramic tile like we would have in our house when we had our sticks and bricks house. So it's really easy to clean. It's very durable. I really like the floors.
Oh yeah, and they're easy to clean.
Yes.
I mean, that's another thing that we've always had. In fact, from day number one on every coach we had a central vac system, which we've always loved. On this one, it took it up another notch. It not only has the normal fitting at the bottom to run your vacuum, but it has that kick plate thing.
Where I can just sweep, or he can sweep.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just lift it up with your foot and it sucks everything in. We actually hardly pull out the hoses and things because it's so easy just to sweep everything up into the central part of the motorhome and open that kick plate and have it just sucked into the bags.
And since you don't have any carpet, we have very little need for the regular vacuum part of the vacuum cleaner, which that makes it nice.
It really does. Another thing that's different about the New Aire that we really like is it has a cathedral ceiling over the bedroom, which gives you, what that means is the bedroom ceiling inside is a little bit higher. There's a little arch. in it like this, so it gives you a little more headroom in the bedroom.
So yeah, so it makes it feel. Yep. That's one thing about the Newmar facility here is we're right next to the train track. It is kind of funny, but at first it wasn't. But now we're kind of used to it. But yeah, but yes, you do have more headroom. It makes the bedroom feel bigger.
It does.
So I mean, I really do like that. Another thing I really like on the inside is we've got a much bigger convection microwave.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that has definitely come into play for us. This is an all-electric coach, by the way, which I really like. I really like that we no longer have propane on board.
So we have no propane accessories either. We don't. I used to have a lot of propane cooking stuff. No longer.
Right.
We don't carry propane at all.
And I really like that. I feel safer that way. We don't have to worry about having to find a propane refill station that we can fit in. So I really like having an all-electric coach. The induction cook plate has worked very well. It's got a dual burner induction cooktop. The convection microwave oven works very well and is a good size. So I've been real happy with the kitchen inside.
Yeah, when we were part-timers, of course, we cooked most every meal on the outside. I mean, very rarely. The kitchen was not much of our journey because our journey was outside. And our journey is still outside, but being full-timers, let's face it, we have to cook a lot of meals inside. So it's really nice to have the bigger oven, and that the induction works really well. So the all-electric has worked out fantastic for us.
I totally agree. I feel like there's no wasted space in the New Aire. I feel like they have used every bit of storage space that they could. I feel like the cabinets are in the best possible place. We just had a horse and buggy go by, which I love about Napanee, Indiana. You see a ton of horse and buggies.
Yep.
But I also feel like they've used the space well in the rooms. You know, the bedroom, the kitchen, the living space. The bathroom is actually really large, I feel like, for the size of this motorhome.
We had no idea, really. We ordered it sight unseen. We had seen the New Aires over the years. I mean, obviously right away in 2018, I loved it. But it did, you know, there were none available for us to go through. And so I had no idea that the bathroom would be as big an upgrade as it was, because the shower is really a good size. I mean, it's so comfortable too.
It's very comfortable, and it feels almost like a spa kind of setting. I like the finishes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I like the elbow room in the bathroom. And I also like that all of the interior doors in the New Aire are pocket doors, which also uses the space really well.
Sure does. You don't have any moving doors in the way at all.
It really makes it a lot easier getting around inside the rig, because this is not a big space on the inside.
No, not at all. Okay, we got Astro reorganized here.
Astro wanted to join the chair here.
Yeah. A couple more things we want to mention on our likes on the inside for sure are one of the main a couple of the reasons why we wanted a new coach, and that was the residential size refrigerator.
Which it's a standard size residential refrigerator. It's a Samsung, just like we had in our Sticks and Bricks home.
Yeah, and we love that because that gives us a lot more capacity, and that with our lifestyle and the way we eat healthy and stuff, that we need that. And the washer and dryer. Yeah,
you know, we made the choice when we bought our Breeze to go without the washer and dryer, and yeah, I really like having the washer and dryer on board. And again, it's very efficient. It doesn't use as much water as I expected it to use, so that has been a super convenience.
We're
happy to have that.
We've washed almost as many clothes not hooked up to water, I think, as we did hooked up to water, or at least not hooked up to sewer, I should say. So where the water is going directly into our gray tank,
yep,
and then we're able to dump it another time. So
and we can run it off the water pump as well.
Yeah, we can. We've done that a little bit, but really, when not hooked up to sewer, if we have space available and we're at a place with no sewer and we're in the last day, Stacy will wash several loads of clothes.
Absolutely.
Because we know the next day we're going to be able to dump. So, and that's worked perfectly.
It really has. Now let's talk about a few of the things that we have kind of a love-hate relationship with. We like some things about them, and then there are other things that we're not so crazy about. And the number one thing for us in this category is the technology.
Yeah, the KIB Silverleaf system, which is basically a computer system that runs just about everything on the coach, controls almost all of the 12-volt system. And so with that, you know, if there's any glitches in it, it's like a computer, maybe it needs to be rebooted, whatever, you know, you lose your things, like even your air conditioners, because yes, they're not 12 volt, but the switches to turn them on and off and their little control boards, those are 12 volts. So if they don't know to come on, or the high fan or the low fan, you totally lose them. Everything
basically, all of your major components that you control run through either the KIB or the Silverleaf. And so everything, it's convenient because you just go to a panel and there's everything at your fingertips. Hot water heaters, shades, lights, air conditioners.
Even the cameras on the outside. So
yes.
Like the Silverleaf, this is what we love about it, is that if we hear something on the outside, we can just check it with a camera.
Yeah.
And that's very convenient. We love that. Very secure. But again,
if something goes wrong with one aspect of that, then you lose connection to a lot of features of your coach, including potentially the ability to flush the toilet, because the toilet is a push-button electronic flushing device. We have a macerator because our black tank is not located directly under our toilet, so it has to shuttle the stuff to the black tank. So the problem with that is if something goes wrong with our Silverleaf system, we do lose access to using our toilet, and that is we only have one on board, so that can be super inconvenient and very frustrating.
And it has happened. And that's one of those things, then you might as well be in a tent, because you do not have a bathroom then.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest conveniences of having an RV. So yeah, there is a love-hate there. We love it when it's working great, which is 99% of the time. We absolutely hate it when it's not. So yeah, that's the love-hate. What else do we got?
Another thing we have love-hate with is the placement of the air conditioners. Now this one, it's really not a big deal, but one of the reasons why we chose the New Aire was we knew we wanted to install solar. And if you look at the roof of most RVs, including everything we've owned before, if there's more than one air conditioner, you'll usually have like an air conditioner in the front, and if it's got two, then there's an air conditioner also over the bedroom. In the New Aire, because it has the cathedral ceiling, I guess,
yes,
the air conditioners are both mounted. We have two ACs, but they're both mounted toward the front to midship of the coach. The good thing about that is that it frees up a ton of roof space in the back for solar, which is fantastic for us. And also, you don't hear, because the AC compressor is not directly above the bed, you don't hear the compressor cycling on and off at night while you're sleeping. So that's really nice.
But
there's a but.
There's a but. The downflow is the airflow in the bedroom is not as good as most coaches that have the AC right over the
bed.
The bed. Mm-hmm. So it's a give and take there.
It still cools well.
Oh yeah, it cools well, but
you don't get the
airflow.
Right.
She likes airflow for sure. So when you're on high fan in the bedroom, it's kind of like low fan would be in the living room. Right. So it's just, you know, if someone could come up with a way on that, put a fan in there and that thing, let us know. We're all ears about that, because that would be a neat upgrade.
Absolutely. Another thing that we have a love-hate relationship with are the recliners. Now, when we ordered our New Aire, because we did order it, you had a choice of a couch, theater seating, or recliners with a little table in between. We chose the recliners. They are very comfortable.
Yep.
I like having the table in between. The problem is I feel like they're maybe a little bit too big for the space. We don't have as much space inside as the bigger coaches. And so if you look at the recliners, the same recliners, say in a Dutch Star versus a New Aire, the recliners feel a little bit big for the space in the New Aire. When you put your feet up, you know, you're kind of in the middle of the room. You got to kind of, everybody else has to kind of walk around. And they hit the valances. The way our valances are for the windows, they come down pretty low and they're beautiful wood, but the recliners come up above where the bottom of the valances are, and so we've had to have both the valances and the backs of the recliners repaired just from rubbing.
Yeah, and they're comfortable, so that's the part we love, but they really aren't practical. We wish we'd gone another way on that. That's probably one of our most disappointing thing on the coach. We are looking to replace those with another brand, you know, from a third party, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. We haven't ordered that yet. We're thinking about it. But also what that leads to is something we absolutely don't like about the coach, and that is there is very, very, very little room to go from the cockpit to the bathroom when all the slides are in, which is something you want to do in case Stacy wants to get up and go to the bathroom.
Or get a drink or a sandwich or snacks or something. We have the least amount of aisle space when the slides are in the New Aire than any coach we've ever owned. And so it's pretty inconvenient when you're driving down the road. We don't tend to do long drive days, but it is nice. One of the reasons to have a motorhome is to be able to take that, you know, the passenger to be able to get up and go get something or use the restroom as you're driving. And it's very difficult in this. I always tell people when you're looking at RVs, make sure you don't just look at it with the slides out, look at it with the slides in, just so you know what you're getting into.
And see, we didn't have that opportunity, of course. I said earlier, when we ordered this coach, we couldn't see one. We knew what they looked like. We'd seen them since they started in 2018, but not in this kind of configuration. I think most of them we'd seen had the couch, and so there was a little more room to go down the middle, but kind of buying it sight unseen the way things were, and there were none on the lot, we just didn't know about that. Would that have convinced us not to buy this? Probably not. I mean, we still would have bought it. She still can get to the back.
Yeah.
It's just, it is a little more difficult. Well, no, it's a lot more difficult. Right. But she can do it. I can do it. We can get through there. It's just not easy.
And so on the newer model New Aires, we have a 21, but we have friends who, a couple of friends that have a 22, and they've made changes to some of the furniture. For example, our booth dinette bows out. It's rounded on the front, which, you know, it looks nice, but it does mean it sticks out several more inches into that aisle. They've squared those off now, so they're doing things to improve your aisle walking capability in the newer models of the New Aire. So I'm happy to see them making those adjustments.
For sure.
Another thing that we really are not fans of is the placement of some of the KIB panels and electrical plugs in the living area.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to expand on this too long, but the plugs are over behind in some areas, behind the chairs, very tough to get to, and then the KIB panel for us is over my left shoulder on the valance, and we never use that one because of that, because it is, you know, and that's, the KIB panel is what shades up and down, your lights on and off. Now granted, we have multiple panels, so this is first world problems, people. What we're complaining about, and I really didn't want to bring it up because we have about 8 panels like this that we can choose from on a 33-foot coach. So but
the difference being, I like to sometimes open certain shades.
Yeah, that's true.
For shading inside and things like that. And this particular panel that is the most difficult to get to sits behind his recliner.
Yeah.
And it's it's the only one where we can control certain shades individually in
That's
the living
true.
area.
For that function, it does really make it inconvenient. But everything else, we pretty much have panels all over that we can deal with. So yeah, I wish that was moved, and we may move it. That may be something we'll do in the future.
So let's talk about some of the changes that we have made. If you've seen some of our other videos, you know a lot of these. But we, right away when we took delivery at National Indoor RV Center in Dallas last year, we drove it directly up to Elkhart, Indiana, which is just north of where we sit now, and to MasterTech RV, and we did a complete solar and 48-volt lithium install. We have a full video on that with all the details, so we'll link to that if you'd like more information on that.
Yeah, in a nutshell, we're able to run almost our whole coach, including both ACs, on the batteries through the inverter. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, you're going to want to see that video, because we are a one-of-a-kind coach.
Also, while we were there at MasterTech, we installed Coney shocks so that it makes our drive a little smoother when we hit those ridges in the road where you kind of go kunk as you're driving over it. It's a very technical term. We get less of that. Right,
right. And we also put balancers in the wheels. They're metal things with bearings in them that...
Astro's playing with the lens cap.
Yep. With bearings in it, so as you're going down the road, it's constantly balancing the tires, so you don't have to worry about your balancing on your tires and stuff.
And we had custom headlights installed that make our viewing at night or in bad weather a lot better than the stock headlights.
Yeah, that was also there at MasterTech. Jason, the headlight guy.
Yep.
And he does a phenomenal job. Yeah, we really like that. And then a couple of safety things we didn't get done there, but a couple of safety things that we got done at NIRVC, a couple of things that are exclusives at NIRVC, is retro bands that go on your steer tires, your front two tires, in case of a blowout. In case you have a blowout, it helps you keep control of the coach and lets you safely pull off the road. We got those put in. Hopefully we never ever have that come into play, but if it ever does, I feel very confident that we'll be safe in the coach. Also, we had Protang put on, and what Protang is a fire suppression system that they have. You can put it in any parts of the coach that you want. We did the whole coach, so it's in over the electrical panel, over the engine, over the Oasis, over the inverter, generator. So if something does happen to catch on fire or whatever, it just puts it out right away. And again, hopefully that is something that never comes into play.
That's for sure.
But if it does, wow, will that make a difference. And we're really glad we got those things.
It gives us a lot of peace of mind.
Yeah, we did a video on those too, and we'll link that down below.
Absolutely. So we could go on, but I know we've talked way too long. I hope you found this information at least interesting.
Yeah, oh, well, we never said how we really feel about the RV.
Oh my gosh. So I love the New Aire. I absolutely love it. You know, they say that there is the right RV for each person in each season of their lives, and certainly we've felt that way about previous RVs that we've had, but for this stage of our lives and the way we're living right now and our style of travel, I feel like the New Aire is the perfect rig for us.
It's the only time in my life since we started RVing that as soon as I bought my new coach, I wasn't looking for my next coach. I find myself not even looking at anything else because I'm so happy with what we got. It is the coach that I always wanted, and so I'm so happy that I can't even see ever buying another coach. But you never say never, right? I mean, but I tell you what, I think we're going to run this one and almost until the wheels fall off. And so, no, I think it's been a big, big plus.
Now we are at the Newmar Customer Service Center here in Napanee, Indiana, which we love Napanee. And
oh
this
my
whole
gosh,
region.
right now guys, I'm sorry, I wish we could show you what's going on behind the camera, because there's an Amish family in a
their horse and buggy.
Their horse and buggy going right down the road. You see that here in Napanee. They mesh with cars and people and bikes, and
really, we love the area.
It's very interesting.
So, but we're going to share our experience up here at the Napanee Customer Service Center, the Newmar Customer Service Center in Napanee, Indiana.
Right.
Next week, we will take you through and talk about the process and
let you know what it's like here and what our experience has been like here.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to link to all of the videos that support everything we've talked about and more that we've shared about the New Aire in the past year, including the full interior tour, exterior tour, the solar, the propane, the whole bit. So if you're interested in more details on any of that or seeing the inside, and we'll link to all of that in the description and also on our website, rvtexasyall.com. I'll put a link in the comments to the post that goes along with this video so that you'll have access to anything else that we thought about, because I'm sure there's more that we didn't cover here.
For sure.
Or not.
Yeah.
Until next time, y'all, safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.